recommend, no matter where you're traveling, but certainly in the Middle East, is know where those entities are. Know where the embassy is. So if you're in Israel, obviously it's Tel Aviv or it's Jerusalem.
Are they open?
Well, they will answer their phone. So there's contacts that can happen in the midst of all of this. And of course, I think that's the advice for wherever you are. But clearly, if you're in a certain area, it's obvious in this case that there are certain limitations in that region, and that contact the embassy, the one that is nearest to you, and you will, at the very least, make sure they know where you are, but also they will give you some
trying to kill people, call back later?
Yeah, I guess so. Like to make. Yes, Humaira.
Remember her, Katrina, like to wait till last minute?
But I have to
they did that with the California fires.
I appreciate that. I'm here to take questions, not necessarily always answer them.
Yeah, last night President Trump said he wants a real end, not a ceasefire.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Does the United States support or pursue regime change in Iran?
Absolutely, they do.
Or are we just talking about dismantling?
No, they absolutely do. 100%. That's what they're trying to do.
The United States helping Israel strike Fordo.
Both.
Well, I'm certainly not going to characterize what President Trump says or tweets for that matter.
100% both.
He doesn't need characterizing. He's one of the most transparent, one of the most clear individuals that we've known. I think that we can take his word for his word, but I'm not going to speculate on, in a larger sense, what that would mean. That is up to the president. He is the singular guiding hand about what will be occurring from this point forward, as he has been.
So he's just making all the calls.
I think that dynamic is pretty clear. He says he wants an end, as he has said about every conflict that he has, as a peacemaker, worked to stop peacefully through diplomacy. That has been his commitment, and he wants these things, as he said about a number of situations, not for a month or 6 months, but durable ends to this nature of forever wars. And that has been his posture, and that's his posture now.
Okay, I have an easier follow-up.
Yes, ma'am.
How many people...
I'll take a hard one, too. I'd say.
How many people so far have contacted U.S. missions in Israel or elsewhere, American citizens, seeking help to depart the country that they're in the Middle East?
Yes, I won't discuss those details or the numbers involved with
they're not going to say that.
Are you guys planning to facilitate charter planes to get people out?
They're probably not even going to say that.
I will not discuss what our plans are in that regard. Yes, ma'am.
Because they don't want to make the planes targets. That's the reason why.
Are you guys considering at all operations that would help Americans who want to leave the region from evacuating?
I know that our commitment is to the safety and security of Americans around the world. All right?
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Tammy, with the U.S.
They're bombing the shit out of them this time. For sure.
First of all, I'm certainly not going to remotely address that. It would require me to speculate or speak on behalf of the president, which I will not do. What we've seen, though, is clear, is months and repeated statements that all he wants is a peaceful world. His activity and the nature of the actions that the United States has taken, and his special envoys have been rooted in one thing, which is negotiations, looking for diplomatic solutions to generational problems that he wants solved diplomatically. That has been his constant posture. And
these are bombs of diplomacy.
Nothing that has changed.
He wants peace so bad, he will bomb as many people as he needs to get it.
And so, of course, that's not something I'm going to address.
If he has to bomb everybody to get peace, then that's just what has to happen.
Comes to the intelligence about Iran's nuclear weapons program?
That is a question for the White House.
At any cost.
The NSC. That's not something I can answer here. Nadia.
Thank you, Tammy. The president said he wants to see Iran offers unconditional surrender. I'm not going to ask you to comment on the president's statement, but I'm going to ask you if the secretary is involved in any kind of diplomatic missions with his allies, with the Germans, with the French, trying to offer something to the Iranians as a way out.
Well,
Well, the way out is unconditional surrender.
On the details of any diplomatic conversations, if they occurred, between whom, what those details would be. We know, of course, the Secretary and the President were at the G7.
Obviously.
Their constant work from the moment they came to office has been to, and certainly Secretary Rubio, was to open up conversations and to lead the world through diplomacy to make a difference. But that's the only thing that would guide me when it comes to the nature of the decisions.
People are evacuating through Jordan?
Yes,
yeah, I heard about that.
Getting into the details of the conversations, is the door to diplomacy with Iran on its nuclear program still open from the U.S. perspective?
That would be a decision made by President Trump.
Have you heard from the Iranians signaling interest in continuing discussions?
That is not something that I can speak to.
Ah, geez.
Yes, ma'am.
Going back to the consular piece of this in Israel, the latest security alert from the embassy there still says that the embassy is not in a place to evacuate or directly assist Americans. Do you have any timeline on when that might change for the Americans who are stranded in that country? And just looking
the truth is nobody has any idea what Trump is going to do.
Situation has changed.
The question is, does Trump have an idea of what he's going to do?
Level 4 from a level 3 for the entirety of the country. Is that a sign that the state was caught on its back foot a little bit by this change because Americans still can't get help?
I can say the answer to that last question is no. We are working 24/7 to ensure the safety and
we'll see.
The security of Americans around the world. I can say that the Department of State is always planning for contingencies to assist private U.S. citizens' departure from crisis areas. And we will alert the U.S. citizenry
if we bomb Iran, will they start making anime afterwards? I don't think so.
And when there is additional information to share regarding their options during any crisis, but certainly this one as well. When it comes to how quickly people can expect a dynamic, the American government, the State Department, our militaries, you've seen all of these assets, all of these departments involved in this dynamic in one fashion or another, are working exclusively for the safety of this nation and the safety of the American people, wherever they may be. Yes, sir.
Next.
Thank you, Tammy. At the top, you said that you're advising U.S. citizens not to travel to Israel or Iraq or Iran under any circumstances. Do you have any more general guidance for Americans in the Middle East, more broadly as a region? Are there other countries that you're advocating people
do not go
depart from?
Well, at our website, we have our travel alerts.
Yeah, I would not want to be anywhere over there right now.
Our
this is a scary time.
Twitter, our
do
social
not
media
come.
accounts. Those are for
do
the
not
public,
come
to see. Would there be, what is the specific one for people to look to if they want to look for specific country travel alerts? Is it travel.state.gov? So travel.state.gov, and you will see every travel alert there for you, depending on if you're going to be traveling. And it's not just for the Middle East, or if you're in a country right now, you can get your information there. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Two questions. In your topper, you also recognize American diplomats serving in Ukraine and Israel who spent another night in a bunker.
Yes.
But one of American citizens happened to be killed by the Russians last night in Ukraine. Do you have any comment on the U.S. government act to protect American citizens in Ukraine?
Yes, we are aware of last night's attack on Kyiv, which resulted in numerous casualties, including the tragic death of a U.S. citizen. We condemn those strikes and extend our deepest condolences to the victims and to the families of all those affected. The president, in the recent past, has made his thoughts clear about striking the civilian areas in that regard.
See, this is the reason why you don't want Iran to have nukes.
Again, which is at the thread throughout all of the work.
It's because they've got to pussyfoot around with this.
Has no higher priority than the safety and security of U.S. citizens
because Russia has nukes
abroad, and we can confirm the death of a U.S. citizen in Ukraine. And we stand ready to provide all possible consular assistance. And out of respect to the family during this obviously horrible time, we have no further details to offer in that regard.
And second topic, in light of Israel-Iran tension, some of our colleagues from VOA, Persian services were called back reportedly. How much do the events of past few days signify the role of VOA and other outlets to counter these narratives from U.S. enemies?
Yes, I'm not going to go into the details of what we're doing when it comes to communications into that region or into specific countries. Yes, sir.
Great.
Thank you, Tammy. Two Iran-related topics. Number
Super
one,
useful. Thank you.
The administration kind of kept this conflict between Israel and Iran at arm's length over the first few days. And now, since last night and especially into today, we're hearing the president say, we more.
Yeah, he
we
going
have control over the skies. We
Good
know
question.
where the supreme leader is. He's kind of taking more ownership of the situation directly. Is that feeling trickling down to this building as well? Is there more of a ownership of the situation in the State Department as well?
I mean, it's obvious, right?
I again can't characterize the feelings of the President of the United States. We know that he is our lead. We know that he is the guiding hand. We know that he is one of a few who know all the details. And he is clearly has a mission and an agenda that has involved diplomacy and changing the world for the better for people. In the meantime, of course, things change. Our experiences change. He's making comments that are a reflection.
Trump going to go in after this.
What matters to him.
He's going to give a press statement following the ongoing meeting.
What matters to the president matters to the State Department and every other department. I think that it is fair to say that his leadership and his re-election to the second term was because people here in the United States were tired of the status quo. And what the world has seen is a peacemaker and someone who can make a difference.
That's what people voted
they're
for.
Looking forward
Final
to.
question. Can I get in one more?
One more.
There's no special envoy for Iran. Several key locations in the Middle East don't have a confirmed ambassador. We speak often about the day after situation in Gaza. What about the day after situation in Iran? Is the State Department ready for it?
Well, the State Department and the Trump administration, while you may not see things immediately, just because it's not maybe in the news or you're not present for things that occur, doesn't mean they're not occurring. I would remind everyone that the State Department, as I've found out, is sort of like the military. It's 24/7. It is not something that is a basic 8 to 5 dynamic. And it's because people are working around the world constantly. It is literally their mission. Personally, their work is what they do and are committed to. So while you may see a certain thing in a static framework, it doesn't mean that we have not worked on that or are not working on that or that things will begin to happen. So it's just a reminder that it's not about the day after. We are working before, during, and after. It is the anticipation of people with history and an experience when it comes to the history, not just of a building and of a department of the United States.
This meeting is like the flight attendants showing you where the exit is
throughout the world.
They're showing you how to use the mask.
They work for this department. They are committed to those issues, and that is what makes the State Department so effective. In addition to the leadership that is afforded by Marco Rubio, as guided by Donald Trump. Yes, sir. You've been waiting.
Tammy, the NATO summit is in The Hague next week.
Yes.
President Trump and Secretary Rubio came back early from the G7 summit because of the nature of what's going on in the Middle East.
They're getting ready to bomb Iran.
If the situation is still unfolding next week, should we expect some kind of changes to the delegation, changes to travel? Should we be anticipating that if the situation is still
How can you make a decision about it in a week? You can't know that.
I can't tell you if
how can you possibly know that?
I know it has not so far.
I mean, really, how could you possibly know that?
Experienced from day to day or even sometimes hour to hour, things do change. This is a very dynamic
Russia denied
event.
help to Iran.
We've all had our special situations that we're interested in, and we all want diplomacy to work, and we've been
Iran. Oh, they're shooting missiles at Israel again.
Ceasefire discussions, etc.
Right here.
This is something that is moving, as things tend to, very rapidly. So I would say that anything is possible, but at this point in time, that is still certainly on the books. But that's going to be obviously that's a presidential trip.
Another one? Yeah, we'll see what happens.
To the White House.
I'll give it a
minute. And I'm sure will be affected by their decision making based on what they see. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Tammy. 2 questions, please. First of all,
can you tell me, sir?
Alan Fisher from Al Jazeera English.
Very good. How do you do?
Fine, thank you. The U.S. intelligence assessment on March 26 was that Iran was not working towards a nuclear bomb. What's changed? That the U.S. position seems to be that it was very close.
Well, again, I can't speak to intelligence assessments, what may or may not have changed.
No answer.
Or to the fact that it is President Trump and his team who are seeing things that matter when it comes to the decision making. And
it could
I
be
think that's what's happened here.
Second question is, if the president in his first term was willing to give the Taliban 18 months to come up with a deal, why was there only 60 days given to the Iranians to discuss something which is much more complicated?
Again, I'm not going to discuss the details of the decisions made by the president.
He's altered the deal. He doesn't alter it any further. That's why.
Open session to the committees.
Well, yes, and as I've noted, today is not that day. Next, yes. Yes, sir. Tie and the white shirt.
Thank you. Is that you just suggesting that
Andrea, we're moving on, please. Let's please be able to manage this. Sir, in the back there.
Thank you, Tammy. My question is,
Shut up.
We were talking about the negotiations between Iran and the U.S., and the president was very optimistic about it. And now, drastically, everything has changed, and we are talking almost about a full-scale war between Israel and Iran. How do you name the procedure right now? Has the negotiations failed?
Vibes.
Or how can we name it? My second question.
There's a dartboard in the Oval Office
State TV has
and a
been
blindfold
targeted by the Israeli Air Force. How do you see that? Do you see
the vibes
a
are
state
totally
TV
off.
channel as a legitimate target?
Well, you'd have to ask Israel about their decisions when it comes to the choices with what they strike and what they don't. And on your first question, which now is already, what was your first question?
My first question, after all this, after these escalations, how do you name the process?
I would say that you would look to the President of the United States for how he is characterizing what has occurred. And he is very open and transparent with that, and does it with his many conversations.
Missile launches
with the media,
I know.
And also on Truth Social. He is clearly accessible.
It's not happening yet.
And he has said a number of things on social media that I think might answer your question. Yes, Saeed.
Thank you. Very quick question on Gaza. Can I do that?
Of course. Well, are we continuing still with? I will come to you on Gaza, Saeed. I promise. But let's continue with the topic at hand. So yes, sir, in the back.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Two questions. One question on Iraq related to Iran. Iranian backed.
Ginosar, Amnon, Khorazim, Vered Hagalil, Amiyad, Elifelet.
Jesus Christ! Sorry about that.
Any American intervention in the conflict would prompt the group to target the U.S. interests across the region. Have you reached to the Iraqi government, and what's your message to
Laggy fucking YouTube.
Question, what's the State Department's assessment of diplomacy? Have you put diplomacy on a side, or you still believe that diplomacy can work with Iran?
Well, again, I'm not going to comment on the nature of how the White House or the President or the DOD will respond to certain remarks or demands made by someone. So you'll have to ask the DOD regarding their reaction in that regard. I would also, though, I know that the President's Truth Social, he's made it very clear, even I think today, and I think I've got that right here. This is, again, one of the things we've learned about President Trump is that when he tweets, when he speaks, the world watches, and it's the most clear framework that we can learn of his approach.
That's scary.
He has...
That's really scary.
I don't know if I can get to the exact one, but he
That's the clearest framework?
That, oh, yes, here we go. He has noted that...
Oh, no.
We don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers, or our patience is wearing thin.
He said that.
Thank you for your attention to this matter.
There's no missiles yet.
He is making it clear, I think, here regarding certain choices on the ground that are being made, and that what we've asked for regularly is, and what he has made clear is that we were not a part of the initiation of this, certainly. We're not a part of Israel's attacks on Iran. That I think was stated very clearly by both Secretary Rubio and the President. And that's important for people to know. And in this case, of course, the President has made it clear that if Americans are hurt, or in this case, a missile shot at civilians or American soldiers, that there would be a repercussion. I think that would not be surprising.
Everybody knows what that is.
All right, we'll go back. Well, more on.
More on. Go ahead.
About the role of partner countries in mediation efforts with Iran, like Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. President Trump recently concluded successful trip to the Middle East. So what can you tell us about the role of these partner countries?
It's clearly
that he's aligning himself with them so they don't help Iran.
He makes
That's clearly why.
He's the best dealmaker in the world. These partners
Isn't that obvious?
that we have, they understand
I feel like that's
clearly
fucking
our
obvious.
intentions and what our goals are. Thankfully, again, to the approach and the style of President Trump. So it's I think that when it comes to, again, the best person who could explain his feelings and thoughts about what's accomplished on any issue is the president himself.
Donald. Yeah.
So I'd refer you back to what he writes and what he is posting on, I think, a very regular basis, which is helpful to people like me, and I think to the world at large as well.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Can I one more?
Check Trump Twitter.
Concerns President Trump is still trying to negotiate with Iran for a nuclear deal, showing that his priority is peace in the region. President Trump has once again recently offered to mediate on Kashmir, but the Modi government says that they don't need Trump's help. Does President Trump need Modi permission to bring peace in South Asia by resolving the Kashmir issue?
Well, yes, this is
it's India's
every
problem.
Country, as President Trump has stated, is a right to define its own future.
Yeah.
He offers his help, and it's up to whoever he's offering it to whether or not they'll accept it. We live in a fascinating, exciting time where we've got a man who can make the difference, and he's generous about making that difference. He could have chosen to have this term be about
he will give them so many bombs.
Peace and making America great again. But he's stuck with that. He's
There's
committed
still
to
nothing.
That. It is part of his
attacks yet.
Overall commitment to the country. So I would not speak to the nature of another country's decision making. That's up to them.
Jesus Christ.
But I think all of us are grateful that we have a president who's willing to help.
I apologize. It's so annoying.
One more in Iran, and then we'll go to Saeed.
The volume on this is so bad.
President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad has been killed in Tehran.
I can't confirm that or report on that or discuss it. All right, thank you. Saeed.
So he's dead.
Quick question on
Yes,
Gaza.
sir.
In the last 48 hours or the last 3 days, dozens of Palestinians have been killed at the aid centers and so on. With everybody focused on
That sounds
Iran,
pretty bad.
This situation still garner some interest or attention from this building or from the United States of America. And are you urging the Israelis to hold off whatever the amount of firepower they're firing at these aid seekers?
Well, we of course
no idea about that.
Are always saddened to hear reports about any mass casualty situation or shootings. I don't know who isn't, no matter what the dynamic.
That sucks, man.
The IDF has said a particular incident is under review, and that is helpful, and we'll see what their review comes up with. And in the meantime, I think it is important also when it comes to the nature of the efforts to get aid and food to the Gazans. We now know, can report that the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation now is working at 4 distribution sites and has distributed nearly 26 million meals to date.
That's great.
So it is, again, a conversation about whether or not the State Department cares. Every day there's a demonstration. And when we think about the State Department, it's people. It's people who've committed their lives to a diplomatic life, to a life of foreign service, to a
So I'm pretty sure Iran threatened a nuclear attack last night and then did nothing, and it's just going to fly under the radar. Like, Iranian state media aired this AI slop right here, along with are they petting a nuclear weapon? Like, what is that? But it came out alongside a message saying, quote, "Tonight the world will never forget. Stay tuned." And a lot of people did stay tuned, and they were disappointed because nothing really happened. Certainly not a nuclear attack, which is good, but also, like, we're starting to see more and more of this from Iran, which probably isn't a good sign. Whether they actually follow through with something or they just feel like they're getting pushed into the corner and have to do something, this is the direction a lot of their media is headed in right now. Now, what we did see last night was a continuation of Iranian missile and drone attacks against Israel. Looking at the overall roll-up right here, this is provided by military correspondent Doron Kadosh. My apologies in the pronunciation. He says so far Iran has launched over 400 ballistic missiles and some 1,000 drones at Israel since Friday. So a pretty significant amount of munitions. Of the ballistic missiles, just over 20 have impacted in urban areas, causing casualties and damage. 24 people have so far been killed in Israel and more than 500 wounded. From what I'm tracking from publicly available information, 7 of those 500 or 500 plus have been soldiers or IDF personnel. The remainder, and then all of those who have been killed, have been civilians. He does add that the casualty figures so far are well below what the IDF anticipated when it planned the operation against Iran. and noted that of the 1,000 drones, fewer than 200 have so far reached Israel's borders and entered Israeli airspace, and none of the drones have actually impacted their targets inside of Israel. The slow-moving Shahed drones, we got a lot of footage of this stuff. They're relatively easy to shoot down. If you have just a helicopter up in the air, you can hunt these things down pretty effectively, and it appears that that's what Israel's doing. Now, Iran has put out some pretty significant statements saying that they have shut down the Israeli airspace, they have complete control and can rain down missiles and drones wherever they want. That doesn't really appear to be the case, but we'll get into the Iranian side of things here in a moment. Starting with Israeli strikes inside of Iran, was fortunate earlier today to have an interview with Lieutenant Colonel Nadav, the IDF spokesperson. I'll link that video in the description below for anybody that wants to watch it in its entirety. But there's a quick clip here I wanted to play about how the IDF is conducting dynamic targeting in Iran right now. And it'll make sense as we see a lot of these missile launchers and UAV carriers getting knocked out day in and day out. Let's give that a quick listen.
And this is something, as I described, is going on in real time. So we have an eye in the sky. Our intelligence people are working 24/7, amazing people, young men and women working to create intelligence in real time. And we're finding two things. There's two things that we're finding in real time, and we call this missile hunting and aerial defense hunting. In real time, we're locating them, creating operations while we're in the air. You know, usually you have an intelligence, you have a few weeks, you plan out, you can practice it, but this is real time. We see a missile on a truck. We've released the videos. You've seen many of them. You see a missile on a truck with our eyes in the skies. We have UAVs in Iranian skies because we've established aerial control and they can be there and collect intelligence. And we see the movement. We know also where to look, and we see the movement. And in real time, we can say there's a ballistic missile here on the go. Let's find it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's create an operation in real time. And we thwart it. And we've done that to dozens of missiles.
So again, just a quick clip from the overall interview, but that is significant. Being able to have aircraft overhead, identifying targets on the ground, and striking them relatively quickly is not a situation Iran certainly expected to find themselves in 4 or 5 days into this war. I'm not entirely sure Israel expected to be here either. They have, at this point, declared air supremacy over the western portions of Iran, and they have aircraft loitering overhead able to carry out these strike missions one after the other. In fact, we got some footage of refueling operations taking place, which is Israel refueling their aircraft means they're able to stay over the target for longer periods of time and wait for some of these launchers to emerge before striking. That is a significant change in how this battle is developing. Now, turning to some of the IDF battle damage assessments here, they say overnight, Israeli Air Force jets struck a site used for the production of anti-tank missiles. The missiles were manufactured in Iran and transferred to their proxies through foreign countries. So Hezbollah, probably not Hamas, would have been hard to get it to Hamas in recent years. The Houthis, no doubt, and a lot of militias across Iraq and Syria. They say they also hit factories producing raw materials and components for missile assembly, as well as sites for the production of Iran's air defense systems. As part of the broad effort to operate against Iran's nuclear weapons project, they also hit weapons production sites, centrifuge production sites, as well as research and development sites of the Iranian regime's nuclear weapons development project. So what you're seeing here is originally the opening goal was to eliminate the immediate threat of ballistic missiles. We're seeing Israel go after a lot of the launchers and the missiles in storage, and then preventing Iran from the development of a nuclear weapon. The next step after that immediate threat is mitigated is going after some of these production facilities to make sure they can't easily replace those things. And that's what we're seeing in the last 24 hours. Not just the missile production facilities, but also, interestingly and understandably so, the centrifuge production facilities. Israel says these sites were designed to allow the Iranian regime to expand the scale and pace of its uranium enrichment purpose of developing nuclear weapons. They also went after a handful of Iranian aircraft, more. A couple days ago, we played the footage of the F-14s getting taken out. Probably not operational, but nonetheless, end of an era there. Last night, Israel went after some attack helicopters. They say these helicopters were still operational and were planning to be used to interdict Israeli aircraft. Haven't seen any footage of these being airborne since the fight began, but nonetheless, from this footage, it looks like Israel was able to identify and strike 5 Iranian AH-1 attack helicopters at a military base. Again, they say these were intended to be used to intercept Israeli munitions and aircraft in certain areas of the country. Now, we did see what looks to be the first interception of an Israeli aircraft, this one being a UAV, a Hermes 900 drone, over Iran yesterday. And there's some important aspects here. First off, Israel confirmed this right away. They said during an operational activity, surface-to-air missiles were fired at an IAF remotely piloted aircraft. The device fell in Iranian airspace. There were no casualties, and there is no fear of information leaking. And we've got this footage because immediately Iran had people on scene, and this stuff went far and wide. Like, we did it. Look, here's an interception. So a couple things to take away here. First off, this probably throws some cold water on the idea that Iran has downed the 5 F-35s that they have. It's 5 now that they said they've shot down, for what it's worth. Stealth fighters, they said 5 of those have been intercepted. We haven't got any footage at all in any way, shape, or form to support that. This probably adds to the skepticism that we should have, the healthy skepticism around those claims. There were also some other ones about, I think they said like an F-16 was shot down in air-to-air combat or something. Nonetheless, if this is the footage we're getting off of the drone that was shot down, you would expect a little bit of something around any other claims. Those aren't out there. We can pretty safely assume that this is the first aerial vehicle shot down by Iran since the conflict began. Another key note here is this appears to be a Hermes 900. That was not put out by Israel, but just looking at this and kind of open source information, that drone does not have the range to take off from Israel and operate in Iran. At least the publicly available information says that it can't reach it. So a couple of thoughts there. First off, that public information, we always expect it to be not quite entirely accurate, right? When you think about the range of munitions and weapon systems, you're never going to put the fully classified number in a place like Wikipedia, right? It's always going to be a little bit watered down. That is one possibility. Another possibility, and this is pure speculation, so bear with me, it's possible there's some sort of forward launch location where Israel is pushing these drones from maybe somewhere in Iraq, maybe somewhere in Iran even, or Syria, where they're able to keep these drones airborne for longer periods of time to help identify targets on the ground. Something to keep in mind as we get more information about all this. Now, I'm going to speak briefly about what's happening here in the United States. President Trump said a lot of things today. I'm not going to go through any of it because, quite frankly, it's a lot of like trying to read between the lines. And he just said a lot of things. Like, we're no nuclear, nothing really new. And it was just confusing, if I'm being honest. But I did want to focus in on a statement here from U.S. Senator Ted Cruz about the threat that Iran poses, not just to Israel, but to the United States. Let's give that a listen, and we're gonna pick it apart a little bit here.
You need an ICBM to get to America. If Iran gets a nuclear weapon, I think the odds are unacceptably high that we would find out with a mushroom cloud over New York City or Los Angeles or Tel Aviv in Israel. And
I hate that. I do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. I think that it is a worthwhile endeavor to make sure that they cannot obtain a nuclear weapon. And I think if they had that, it would serve as a significant threat to Israel, certainly, and to U.S. forces and our allies in the region. That said, there is not a real immediate risk of a nuclear warhead being fired from Iran and detonating inside the continental United States. Iran does not have that capability. So there's a lot of things to pick apart here with should we assist Israel further? Is Israel in the right to do what they're doing? And all these different things. We don't need to make up threats. The threat is already significant enough. Then we don't need to layer on like, well, if they were to develop this technology down the road, and if they were to have this new weapon system, then maybe they could possibly fight. We don't need to do that. And I hate that in some cases we're starting to go down that rabbit hole of what if, because the real situation on the ground is an issue in of itself. Now, turning to the Iranian side, a couple statements here. The IRGC put out a statement last night following the most recent round of missile launches saying, quote, tonight's missile attack proved that we had imposed complete control over the airspace of the occupied territories, and that their residents are now exposed and completely helpless in the face of Iran's missiles. The missile strikes will be precise and continuous. As you saw yesterday, Mossad headquarters as well as Israeli military aircraft bases were targeted in various parts of the occupied countries. We did not really see that yesterday. Now we're getting less and less footage out of Israel at this point, which is a testament to the Israeli population because everybody has phones, right? And they're not sharing that footage when a missile flies by or impacts or where it hits because that is information that would be beneficial to Iran. And there's no way the internet is still very much open and active in Israel, right? So the fact that we're not getting those pictures and those videos means that the people there are choosing to not share it. That said, there's no indication at this point that Israeli military bases were hit. We just had, we don't even have, Iran doesn't have anything to go off of other than just saying it. If they had footage or imagery or anything, I'm certain they would release it. The only claims we have right now are statements like that. The IRGC added, quote, "The Space Force's missiles won't let you spend a single moment outside your underground shelters, and there have been days where you haven't seen the sunlight." There's no doubt been a lot of time spent in shelters recently. I don't know that anyone in Israel has had to spend days below ground quite yet. They say, "Rest assured that the sirens will not be silenced for a single moment, and you must choose between a slow death within a hellish life in shelters or a quick escape from the lands that your ancestors usurped, and you may find life outside of hell." So pretty nice, gentle statements coming from Iran. The commander of the IRGC added to that, saying, quote, "The gates of hell will open upon you." Again, we're seeing kind of an increase in the rhetoric here from Iran. It's not really being matched with their actions so far. And I want to spend a moment talking about that because I think we're at risk right now at this point in the operation. We're seeing, fewer missiles flying at Israel, no doubt, and a good number of those do appear to be intercepted. And we're getting constant footage of Israeli strikes all around Tehran. They're hitting everything. And again, going back to that conversation with Lieutenant Colonel Nadav, real-time dynamic targeting of high-value targets on the ground. There's everything that is publicly available sees that this is shifting very, very heavily in Israel's favor, short and long term. I think it's easy at this point to get ahead of ourselves and think that maybe Iran doesn't have the capabilities to effectively fight back. And they do, just maybe not in the ways that we're looking at right here. So it might not come with missile launches, it might not come with drone launches, the long-range ones into Israel. There's a lot of American bases throughout the Middle East, a lot of American resources that could be targeted and have not yet been targeted. There's also the possibility, hate to go down this rabbit hole, but Iran does have nuclear material, enriched uranium. No indications that they have a bomb at this point, but likely more than enough to have a dirty bomb, which is a conventional munition used to spread radioactive waste over a large area that could render a good portion of a city, depending on how big the bomb is, inhabitable for significant periods of time. Those threats are still very much out there.
Men of the North, you stand at the precipice. Your kings have failed you, so now you turn to the gods. And yet you do not plead. You do not kneel to dust your heads with ash. Instead you wail, "Why have the gods forsaken us?" We must look into the trials we failed long ago. In a time past, our world intertwined with another through an upheaval scholars call the conjunction of the spheres. The gods allowed unholy forces to slip into our domain. The offspring of that cataclysm was the nefarious force called magic. Yet we did not banish it, instead studying the vile arcane for our own power and wealth. And the monsters at our door, the unholy relics of this conjunction, the trolls, the corpse eaters, the werewolves, did we raise our swords against them? Or have we laid this burden on others? On so-called witches. Stray children taught the ways of foul sorcery, their bodies mutated through blasphemous ritual. Sent to fight monsters, though they could not distinguish good from evil. The flicker of humanity, long extinguished within them. Yes, their numbers have dwindled through the years. But a few still roam our lands, offering their bloody work for coin. To this day, they shame us with their very existence. The North bleeds, flogged by war. The battles are the gods' whip, chastisement for our sins. And let us not forget the terrors, the scourges from beyond our world. The wild hunt rides the sky with every full moon. The Dark Raiders abduct our children into lands unknown. Some say they herald a second conjunction. Can we chart a course back?
tired, Ciri collapsed in the swamp. Some peasants found her and took her to the Baron, Valen's self-appointed ruler. The warlord took the young woman in, had her nursed back to health, then sent her on her way to Novigrad.
Stay out of my way.
In a hurry. Your arms.
Thanks.
Never seen better steel in my life. Blade must strike true, no?
It's a matter of the hand, not the steel it's holding.
Fuck. Feisty, eh? Fuck. Your kind spreads disease, defeatism and desertion. Long live, etc., etc. I feel like puking after that swill in the canteen.
Fuck.
Feisty, eh? Redania.
The eternal fire.
Hear ye! All onlookers, all riders! The venerable Nagelbert invites you to the races! Thoroughbreds at full speed near the Nagelbert estate outside town!
Monster.
Ash?
You seen the new waitresses?
Stay away!
It's
worth seeing. And how? Buxom lasses from the lands already taken by Nelf.
Ah, sorry, sir. I highly recommend you visit.
Oh! Hey! Duty calls.
I say.
Ooh, what's the rush?
What's going on? Assume your every move.
My uncle's in the circus because he can swallow swords. Can you?
Ah!
Who's captain of this ship?
Looking at her. Aye, her. That's right. I, a woman, am captain.
Need to get...
Not on this boat.
Pay you well.
The islanders live off plunder in the...
Ever sailed there?
Boarded me once. Expect they wanted to see if I had captain's bollock.
You'll not find any monsters in Novigrad.
Looky, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Mug like that won't get you a copper. Gots to be elegant like me.
You on the captain? Name's Wolverstone.
You can learn a great deal when you're drinking a bear.
Hooray! Ow!
Whoa. Stop flexing. Ooh.
Why is your hair so grey, darling?
Ow! Get off!
My dad doesn't like elves very much.
Ah!
Knackered.
Hooray!
Can it get any worse?
Waste of breath. What do you want?
You captain of this tub?
What's it to you?
How much would it cost me to hire this ship?
The harmony of nations ain't for hire. Ship's owner's got plans for...
There anyone in Novigrad who'll take me to...
You mean anyone here off their gourd? Aye. Man's a sheep bugger, like the skelliges.
You're a bigger rat picker than me.
Well.
You, Wolverstone?
So you want to know if I'm...
I need to get to Skellige.
My Atropos and me, we're due to sail for a carrying grain. Got any cook?
Gotta get...
You sure do. This city, racial hygiene's always been there.
Just a bit more and I'll drop this job.
Doggy, why you? Let's drink for it's nearly night.
Help! Save me! I'm dying!
A good day for commerce.
Come, sir.
Let me see... Farewell.
Stand and fight! Prepare for battle! You shall not have it!
Brought friends?
No?
Is that so?
Yes!
You never had any last words?
Hey, grey hair, got the deal of a lifetime for you.
All right. What have you...
Magic accessories.
Interesting.
True. Perhaps because I'm not a...
Fine. What do you have?
Naught but rare.
The halfling, what did he want? And why did he bolt when he's...
Left his soup on the burner.
I've half a mind to put you on the burner, wise ass. Got my eye on you.
Must have broken. Oh, hey, dandy.
Greetings, Haggard.
Me? The more I drink, the clearer I think.
Sail to Skellige at your age. Now. Believe I see a... Hear that?
Here. Not sure you're ready.
Know this, stranger. Cat and walk. So.
Let's go.
First, we must drink to the wind.
Back off or I'll kill you.
I'm not afeard of dying.
See, I've landed on Ord Skellige.
How you figure that?
You're wearing Clan on Crate colors. Ord Skellige's their island.
On the Atropos, were you?
Yeah, thought the captain had a deal with you.
With us? Meaning who exactly? Might have arranged something with Lugos, but crack? Nay. Clearly should have, though.
Agreed to meet a sorceress here, Yennefer of Vengerberg.
There's a wetcha Kertrolda.
Seen her?
Aye. Where's Black? Fact is, even those who...
Yennefer's not all bad, once you get to know her.
Take your word for it. Know the way to Kertrolda?
Expect I'll find it.
Head north. Then turn west towards the bay before you come to the bridge. You'll find the Jarl port site today. Your sorceress ought to be there too.
Thanks. So long. Not so fast, Roach.
Ooh! Hey! Best blade's not worth shite if a weak arm's swinging it.
from the continent, perchance?
If Miranda wants something from the continent, I'll go on a raid. Show me what you got from the Isles and stuff.
Greetings.
Show me your wares. So long.
The guardian curse. Come closer, stranger.
Giddy up.
You know, get spotted. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh.
Hey there. Come take a
Come on, Roach.
Come closer, stranger.
Let's go.
Let us pay homage to Bran.
Hey-ya.
May our horns echo midst the cliffs and peaks. On my mark, blow!
Got to be ready in time for the funeral. Croc and send us away with
Go, go.
I wonder where they live at the bottom of the shore at large.
Why can't I play today, Dad?
Got to go to the port to wait for around King Bran.
Come on now.
Sturdy lad.
King's passing. There's an occasion worthy of
Our time amongst the living is but the wink
need not do this, child.
I know, but I want to.
Tis madness. Such a young lass.
Erna should be the one going. They shared a bed longer.
Silence. It is her decision.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. The eulogy.
King Bran of Clan Tuirsech has embarked on his final voyage. At its end, our glorious ancestors await him. Together they will hunt and raid. They will sit round the fire and praise the deeds of ages past. For now, he lives in our hearts. One day, we too shall stand at his side and face the sea together. That will be a good day.
You mean you won't visit your own mum? Well, yes.
You smell wonderful.
Geralt, we're at a funeral.
You smell wonderful at this funeral.
Skellige is its clans. In times of war, tradition holds the clans unite under the leadership of their king. We bid Bran farewell. Time to pick his successor who will lead us against the Black Ones. The gates of Caer Troll stand open to all who held Bran of Clan Tuirsech dear. Mead and meat will be plentiful. During the way. Those who believe themselves worthy of the crown will step forth.
Haven't seen each other in 2 years. I want a solitary cottage by the sea. I want to lock myself inside with you. Stay there for a week.
What would we do there for a week?
Got so many ideas.
The one with the rope you use for trophies.
Seems interesting.
Reading my mind again?
What's more, I like what I see. Did you learn anything in Velen?
How about you? What have you learned?
Something strange happened on Ard Skellige a time ago. A disaster brought about by a burst of magic. Extraordinary, really. Natural anomaly. Never seen anything like it. My intuition tells me Syria was its cause.
As much as I respect your intuition, Yen, we need something specific. Evidence.
I'd know for certain if I was able to inspect the disaster zone. Unfortunately, Ermion and his druids aren't letting anyone near.
So why won't Ermion let you inspect the area of the anomaly?
Call it a difference of opinion. A large, loud difference. Look, it's Krach.
White Wolf!
Greetings, Krach.
I shall see you at the wake, and I'll not accept any excuses. I've an important matter to discuss with you.
Guess our solitary hut will have to wait. Crack on Crate's someone we want on our side. I shall wear black and white for the feast. I count on you to don something complimentary. Something that doesn't reek of 1,000 hunts.
Yen, you know I can't stand new doublets. Just too tight till you break them in.
And just like Krach, I'll not accept any excuses. We're not here to enjoy ourselves. We've matters to resolve and should dress appropriately. I've rented a room at the inn. Took the liberty of laying out some clothes for you there. You ought to go. Choose something. In the meantime, I've something to attend to. We'll meet at the entrance to the feast hall.
man in need. Sorry to trouble you.
What is it?
Our ship was wrecked against a rock.
How am I
I haven't even got the coin for the...
Uh-huh. Might have guessed you'd come around to...
I shall pay you back every last cop.
Heard a few too.
To tell you the truth. Not a wee flip, I reckon, but Mate Coin says he can't beat the giant. Who are there, Witcher? You looking for work by any chance?
What do you want? Man can't work
Every man
5
on the
minutes.
Listen, Witcher. Got us some weird diabling. You know, drown.
Let me guess. They're tearing your nets, devouring your...
Were that the only harm? Terrors in the bay are meaner than on the continent.
Strange.
Rurik, my apprentice. He was on a boat, the weird...
Let's talk about my pay first. A bit too modest for my taste.
That's dear, it is. But could be worth it.
I'll take...
Freya smile upon you.
Rurik, right?
Aye, I was. With Ulf, my...
That, or the monster...
Oh.
Are you Tove?
Then you were told right. Kivilla, our son, he went out fishing. One night, he didn't come home. I fetched me brother.
Small comfort, I know. But the drowner problem... Another victim. That stench. Stench. Drowners for sure. Lair must be nearby. drowners. Rusty piece of armor, falling apart in my hands. Monster's lair, but definitely not a drowner's. Almost untouched. Hidden for later. Drowners just don't do that. Almost untouched. Hidden for later. Bits of boats just don't do that. Sails, lines, sailing decor you could call it. Bruises on his neck, crushed larynx, strangled. That stench, the marks on the bodies. This must be a water hag's lair. Got a keen sense of smell. She won't come back while I'm here, unless she coexists with drowners. Make an extract from their glands cover up my scent. place to hide and wait behind those boats.
ye looking at?
Where are you going?
Every man would wonder and so bloodless.
Job's done.
Now, why would I want to see...
Water hag.
Seen a lot of ugly crit...
Think I deserve more.
Not denying it, but my...
Neither is the sea.
Extorting protection.
From this day on, my home is your home.
Don't eat so much.
Why the spit not?
Because if you get hit in the gut and those herrings get tiny.
Through here, so beyond.
May she serve our king worthily. One day we'll meet again.
After all, meet rebel till you drop. East at his table.
Ran of Clan
This blade's not worth shining for weak arms. Maybe he's looking to get held on a ship.
every which way. We offer you our name, the symbol of our valor. For the valor of the Isles.
Our skulls shall be bare till a new king sets among skelligers.
Hey there, friend. What's the rush?
This has gotta be Yen's room. She always did like space and luxury. Her megascope? Guess she never goes anywhere without it. As Philippa Eilhart said, megascopes and toothbrushes, deeply personal possessions. Glamour. Scent of lilac and gooseberries, even with the lid on. Taste hasn't changed. The stuffed unicorn. She fixed it. No idea how she managed to bring so much clothing. Must have hired out a galleon. As usual, black and white.
I recognize your type a mile away.
You're looking ill. Let's nurse some mead at the tavern.
Friends, we show heart.
Right. Just not something I'd ever wear. But what don't we do for our... Who exactly is she to me?
Aye, foreigner, watch your step.
No such thing as bad ships or bad weather. Only workers.
So pleased you've come to pay respects to my dad.
Bran was a great ruler.
He needs a worthy successor.
You speak as though you have someone in mind.
Skellige's troubles very much derive from it not being a hereditary monarchy. Any upstart can be king and destroy his predecessor's legacy.
The King of the Isles is a more symbolic position.
That should change as well. A strong leader who wields true power. That is what the times require.
I'm Geralt, a Witcher.
Birna, Queen of Skellige. I'm glad we've met, but you must forgive me. Duty calls.
I can see you chose your own outfit. You know, of course, that together we look about as good as lace frills on a battle axe.
Everyone's got their style. We should mingle before they all get drunk. There'll be no talking to anyone then.
Good thinking. I don't know what Krach wants, but when we meet with him, we should have clear minds.
I'm not gonna drink. Why dull my senses when I'm in such pleasant company?
Do you plan to compliment me all evening?
I plan to tell you what I think.
That caught a turn. So, what have you brought for the farewell feast?
Bread,
Sheep's milk and cheese.
Our wagon's full of loot we ripped from the black ones.
We've also got this.
Ghost, do you think I donned an evening dress to show off for the seals?
Just want to get some air.
Very well. Once you've aired up.
Greetings, White Wolf. I suspect...
Oh, yeah?
The best...
I'll gladly see from...
Take your time.
Wouldn't mind a look at your stuff. So long.
Lead our ways, Drifter.
Lady Yennefer. Sir.
Greetings, Arnvald. My companion is Geralt of Rivia.
I am honored.
We wanted to talk to Croc on Crate.
The Jarl will join us shortly. He's assigned you a place of honor at the table just beside his daughter Ceres. Follow me, please.
They've seated us here.
I asked them to. Wanted to meet the notorious Witcher Geralt.
We've met. Don't remember?
That was ages ago. Yalmer and I were children when you last visited Orda. But you should meet your feast mates. Allow me the dubious honor. That's Halbjorn, son of Holger Blackhand. Blue Boy Lugas, Madman Lugas' firstborn. And choking down a stockfish over there is Otric on Hindar.
Seems they set us with the sons of Jarls, exclusively.
Ceres on Crate is the daughter of a Jarl, Geralt. Jarl's daughters are in no way inferior to their sons.
Do you know every last one of them dreams of being Bran's successor? Look at him. Likely lot.
Ceres is jealous, for the one among us who performs the greatest feat will be crowned king.
We all know the feats are a sideshow. Our fathers will choose who will wear the crown. What do you think they spoke to Crack about?
You talk like that because you're short of strength and skill. Remember when Hjalmar challenged us all to a race up the mount? You didn't stand with us then. As he buried his axe in that stump at the top to mark his victory, you were warming your chicken bones by the fire.
Had my reasons for not participating, but I would have won then, as I'd win now.
Now you mention him. Just noticed Hjalmar's not here.
My brother walks his own paths. But about the race, why don't we repeat it? I'm willing to challenge any of you, Witcher included. If I beat him to the top, venture to say that'd be a feat, eh? So you in?
If the Witcher's in.
Geralt?
Gladly. What are the rules?
Whoever pulls Hjalmar's axe from the stump at the top of the hill wins. Stray off the path and you lose.
And here I was, ready to puke from all the boredom. Let's go! We're here. From this spot, you must reach the top of that mount. At the summit, you'll see the stump of an oak. Hjalmar's axe buried in it. Whoever pulls the axe from the stump first, wins.
I'm ready.
You'll start when I sound the horn.
Cheating now. Shall we put some coin on it, new boss?
Hurry it up, old man!
You never pay up.
won, but only by a hair.
No such thing. There's winning and there's losing, and I lost. We best go back to the week.
Let's. See the wakes in full swing.
Lost sight of yous. Who won?
I lost.
Lost to a witcher, Sparrowhawk. That'd likely happen to any of us. Enough of the natter and let's drink.
To Ceres.
Pass the mead in a tankard for the man.
To Bran. May he want for nothing in the world beyond.
To my beautiful companion.
You've been great company. Sadly, it's time we moved on.
Really?
Indeed. We must talk, but not here. You shall learn all beyond that door.
My home is
Jim? Why would I?
The Queen should join her
My
king on
God, he
his
died
last
a
journey.
hero's death.
Tradition
Faced
demands
3
it.
black ones alone. They cut off his arm at the shoulder.
Huldah slit his own throat.
Nothing here for
Wouldn't
you.
let herself be took prisoner.
To a cold, distant shore, I must ascend.
What did you say at the beast's head?
The gods of their kind will see. I must
Tell me.
Allow me to introduce Geralt of Rivia, a witcher. Geralt, Jarl Donar and Hinder, and Jarl Madman Lugos.
Calling Lugos a madman's an insult to madmen. He's a common goat fucker.
Call me a goat fucker one more time, and I'll chop off your head, stick it on a pike, and piss down your neck hole.
Enough! Time to settle this. Here and now.
Oh, ha ha ha! Giving me a true fright right now. Shat my best trousers. Put that away before you cut yourself, you cunt.
Thought Skellige's called a truce for feasts.
I know the hallowed customs, but Lugos ought to know that I'll not let him raid my Hindisfial bear.
You don't scare anyone, Donar. I'll be by soon to plough your priestesses, drink from your tankard, and shit on your table. Be sure to leave a candle lit for me.
Emperor would be very pleased to hear you quarrel.
His Imperial Majesty is more than welcome to visit.
Let him sail over here. We ain't afraid of the black ones.
Raiding coastal villages is one thing. Total war with the Empire is another.
Awfully mouthy, this one. Go stir your cauldron and pierce some boils, witch. Don't talk when you haven't got a fucking clue.
Calm down, Lugos.
No wench will teach me how to fight.
That was not my intention. Come, Geralt. I believe this discussion's run its course.
It'll be easier going.
On a cold, distant shore.
Well, yes.
Across the wide summer sea.
What now?
Now we pay a visit to Ermien's laboratory.
Didn't know we'd been invited.
Because we've not been.
Take it Ermien won't be there.
That's right.
And what's the purpose of this visit?
We're looking for an object. The Mask of Urboros. We'll need it. Come, Geralt.
Now you'll tell me why you need this mask.
Oh, I shall. In due course.
Take it you'll decide when.
Correct. Yes? 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 Yes, yes. Yes. Footsteps. Shh. Guards. Hide behind the tapestry.
Sparrows chip, while starlings chirp.
What do jackdaws do?
Jackdaws caw. Goldfinches warble, and cranes whoop, whereas peacocks screech. Hawks scream, larks trill, and doves, they coo. That's all of them.
What about nightingales?
All right, nightingales croon.
That was close.
Yes?
This'll be tough to open.
Surprises never end. See the ravens?
Hard not to.
Ermien's spies. An indication that we're near his laboratory. I also sense a clear magic aura. Come. There's a ledge outside this window. We must pass along it.
Seen uglier sights in my life.
Geralt of Rivia, being romantic. Yet amazing how a hobby can render a man mysterious. Fascinating.
Especially a druid. A real nature lover. Looks alive. A basin of water.
For teleprojection, a reflection of Ermien appears on the surface. Supplicants speak to it. Are you all right?
Cut myself. The door's locked. The animals. They're alive. Yen, watch out. Monsters. Feel them coming closer. They're everywhere.
That's one less. That's one less. That's one less.
Strange. Smells of mushrooms in here.
No. To my mind, it's the scent of the sun.
What's happening?
You were hallucinating. You ran at Ermien's animals, sword flailing. I had to calm you.
Must have looked strange.
Your years of vigorous training at Kaer Morhen finally paid off. Bested nearly all the stuffed beasts in here.
Please.
Fine. We've passed the trial of taxidermy. The door stands open. Let's go inside, Geralt. Yes, I'll lock the entrance. We don't want to raise suspicions. Ah, our dear Druid's laboratory. We must search it thoroughly. The Mask of Ouroboros must be here.
Letter bearing
world of
Ermien's seal
insectoids.
to the Druids.
Ritual
Warns them
plants.
about you.
Ah, what do you know? Raymond Marlove. A biography enhanced.
Seems Ermien has real tobacco brought in. Skellige's tales about the wild hunt.
The islanders believe the wraiths sail on a longship built of the...
Pinecone. Didn't expect this. A large female.
Yes?
A sword in a stone. Things begging me to pull it out.
It's not in the stone, don't you see? It's held there by a vice.
Looks like Ermien places something in the statue's hand. What do you say we give it a pinecone? Nothing. Need something else. Look at this. A detailed map of the Northern Kingdoms. Even shows spheres of influence over the ages.
Out of date.
A child's skull. Let's try again. So... Need something else. A goat carved out of linden wood, signed to Uncle Ermien.
Little Ciri's handiwork. That's what she called him.
Goes in for light reading, too. The Corpse of Novigrad by Sasha Hadi. Dwarven triple mead.
Ermien enjoys jests achieved at the expense of others. I've a sneaking suspicion the mask will be in here. This is it. We've got it. We must return to the feast quickly before...
Careful now.
Learn this at Brenna. It's a trap. We're in prison. Hear that?
Smelled it. Gas. Grate still closed. Gotta think of something quick.
The damned druid will poison us. This vapor's deadly. We've got but a few minutes.
Teleport us out of here.
Think of something. Quickly. First thing to come to your mind. Hold on tight. Damn. I tore a hole in my dress. Wait a minute. I must mend it.
You know how to sew.
Please. I'll enchant a needle. Wait.
For what?
We must talk to Croc.
Why? Think he misses us? Because I missed you. Oh no.
I missed you too.
When are you gonna finally burn this piece of junk?
My heart couldn't take it. So many memories. Damn it, Geralt. Do you have any idea how much they cost?
Come here. We gotta hurry. Croc's waiting.
Is that so?
Yen, let go of the mane.
I know you. I let go, you throw us off. Don't even try. My, oh my.
Missed you.
I missed you too.
We ought to get back to the wake.
I must dress. Turn around.
Croc and Crate asked about you.
We went out. For a breath of fresh air.
The claimants to the throne will step forth in a moment.
Now heed my words. There is no greater act of valor than to fight a beast cursed by men and gods. No greater deed than that done to serve the goddess.
Words of uncommon beauty. We thank you. We'll take them to heart. But now, let's begin. We have seen Bran off to the Beyond, and must now choose his successor. A king must be wise. A king must command respect. A king must have bollocks. We've no lack of men like that. Let those who feel worthy of the throne of Skellige step forth.
Cross artistry, iron, steel-clad from head to toe. Neither one of them came back alive from Freya's camp.
Make me answer. I've no mind for
Cross artistry, iron, steel-clad from head to toe. Not one of them came back alive from Freya's guns.
Will you ever stop believing that traitor?
On a cold, distant shore,
My son could not be here this day. Behold his axe. Behold his well.
you from my heart and mind. The wide, somber sea, you're not there.
Cross artistry, iron, steel-clad from head to toe. Not one of them came back alive from Freya's guns.
He was breaking black-eyed Nick yesterday.
May the best man or woman win. Not one of them came back alive from Freya's guns.
Will you ever stop repeating that traitor?
What's got into her?
She's your daughter, is she not?
Now I know why she said she'll sail to speak her on. Children. The older they grow, the more trouble they are. Come with me. All the more essential we talk now. How was it, Geralt, when Ciri was nearing womanhood? I remember well her nan, her mother, what they were like. They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Ciri was impossible to control. No telling her what to do. Had to have things her own way almost always. Why do you ask?
No specific reason. She and Ceres, they're of a similar age. But we'll speak of my children later. First, let's speak of yours. Yennefer claims Ciri's in trouble, and you seek her.
That's right.
If you require aid, gold, ships, anything, merely say the word. I'll give you all I can. And I know the lass lives. I'm sure of it. When the blood of Rhiannon's daughters is shed, the sea grows white with fury. I'd mark such a storm.
Magic anomaly on Ord Skellige somehow related to Ciri, or so Yennefer believes.
It's my strong suspicion, but I can only know for certain by examining the site.
I saw the twisted forms, right unnatural. The druids were barely able to contain it. Explain to me, Yennefer, how Ciri might have caused this great catastrophe.
I'm intent on learning that very thing, which I will do as soon as Ermion stops hindering my investigation.
Don't concern yourself with him. Druids have little trust for mages. But Ermion's heart is in the right place. Am I right to assume he does not know you seek Ciri?
It's of no concern to him.
As I thought. At any rate, Ard Skellige's my isle. You've my permission to investigate as you see fit.
Thank you.
No need. I swore an oath once. I aim to keep it. Unfold! Tell the druid I must speak to him. At the usual spot. I've one more matter to broach. My children. You remember Hjalmar? Well, he swore an oath to kill the giant of Undvik. Set off and has yet to return. Whereas Ceres announced that she's to set off on an adventure of her own. Got it in her head that Udalric is not mad, but cursed.
Take it Ceres wants to lift the curse.
There's no curse to speak of. Ceres has decided she must match Hjalmar and sort out a deed worthy of a queen.
Think she might need my help? You did plan to ask me for it. Why?
The thing is, I don't trust Udalric further than I can spit. Ceres won't listen to me, or her brother. Yet confronted by a professional who will explain why she's mistaken, she just might come to her senses. So yes, I ask that you explain things to her and bring her back.
Giants. They've been extinct for ages. Anyone actually seen the one on Undvik?
Aye, dozens of refugees have. The giant drove everyone off the Isle. I've welcomed what remains of Clan Tordarachir and Ardskellig.
I heard a rumor that an unnatural frost gripped Undvik before the giant appeared.
It's true. At any rate, Hjalmar decided to kill the giant and give the Isle back to its people. A deed worthy of a king, he believes. My son gathered a hearty crew at the new port. They were to sail to Undvik, then travel on foot to Oskar, the village. But that many lads should have killed the giant long ago. Thus, I thought to ask you.
You should start at the new port. Ask around. Hjalmar might have told someone there his plans.
If either Hjalmar or Ceres need help, I'll help them.
I thank you.
Well, now that we're done thanking one another, let's get to work. We must determine if Ciri is still on Ardskellig. I'll change into travel attire and find you. Head south. The anomaly we should investigate destroyed a stretch of forest along the shore of the bay. A successful feast on all counts, Krach. I will see you later.
Times of wonders.
You bored, grey boy?
Windblade.
Haven't seen a Continental here in a long while.
A witcher.
What's this?
It's, adornment. I engraved it.
Melt this blade and forge it again. A sword for cutting, not looking pretty.
So you're back.
Craft something. Looking for someone who can make me a map.
Fergus, perhaps?
So long.
What's it?
And the eyes, witcher. Must be Zaraki.
Oh, they keep an eye
birthday tomorrow.
on him.
I've no clue what to give her.
Maybe a nice little axe. Pretty like.
Axe?
Whoa, what a sword.
Watch it!
Come on, Roach. Show me what you got.
I say!
Where are you guys?
But I got good reason.
What?
Yes?
Can hear you two clear on the other side of the island.
Good! May all Skellige know Jennifer of Vengerberg is a common thief!
Control yourself, Druid. I haven't stolen anything. I've merely borrowed something and fully intend to return it.
Ha! The generosity. Just one small problem. Once used, the mask is rendered completely worthless. Not to mention the risk you'll bury us alive, and all the Isles with us.
Don't exaggerate. It's just...
No, Geralt. This is no just. The myth is that Ouroboros created the mask when the envious seas swallowed his beloved. Unable to bear the prospect that he would never again see his betrothed, Ouroboros made the mask, which would allow him to peer into the past. He knew, however, that he could only use it once. So he waited. Waited until his longing grew so strong that it became unbearable. When the sea learnt of the mask, it was quick to respond. It made known its threat that whosoever used the mask would bring the sea's wrath down on them. For in vengeance, the sea would rise and flood all the lands and drown the living.
So, no one's ever used the mask?
No, but...
So you don't actually know if it works, how it works?
Of course I do. The myths tell me.
You believe the myths?
Only ignorant fools belittle their significance. Besides, it's not the myths that are on trial here. It's the thief.
On the one hand, a theft. On the other, Ciri's life.
I also care deeply for the girl. I proposed a series of other methods. Yennefer refused to listen. She claimed they would take too long. Whereas she needs immediate results. She has always been hot-headed.
True. At least this time she's got a valid reason for it.
Never mind that she might bring... What? What was that? No. Yennefer's used the mask. Follow me! We must neutralize the mask!
Weary white hair.
Great. Come on. What was that?
Unicorns.
Damn it, Yen. I saw the foglets. I meant how'd they get here.
The power of the mask summoned them.
What now?
The mask reveals the past, but only in certain places. Places where past events left a strong magical imprint. Take it.
Want me to wear it?
Yes. I'll cast a spell that will let me see through your eyes.
Well, let's go.
This way. Already found the first spot.
Instructions?
Keep it on until you've seen everything. And don't stray far. Telepathy is limited in range.
What's that? A portal?
2 people emerged from it.
The woman was Ciri.
How can you know?
The way she moved. Like a witcher. Seems they went that way.
Come, let's find the next spot.
You crossed the wrong sorceress.
What? Lost your nerve?
mask. Watch out!
What was that?
A magic explosion of some sort. So powerful that even the echo was dangerous. I wager it destroyed the forest.
But Ciri and her companion weren't harmed. I saw them escape.
Let's see where to.
Place is creepy. I don't like it.
Nor do I.
Anyone here when this happened had a slim chance of surviving.
I know what you're thinking, but don't worry. Ciri can take care of herself.
Damn, you're ugly.
Well,
Someone chased Ciri. See that? Might have wounded her.
she escaped through another portal.
Know where it led?
Magic residue trail leads to Velen.
Any chance you can figure out where Ciri's companion fled to? His portal's gotta be nearby.
I'll try to find it. Come.
Don the mask.
Nice fight.
One repelled the other with powerful magic, then fled through a portal.
A mage?
Most likely. It's Ciri's companion and the one who wounded her.
How do you know?
I don't. Making an educated guess. They both appeared in the previous visions.
Ciri's got a powerful ally. Maybe something left of the one who got hit by the spell.
It's clearing up,
Ermion must be getting a handle on the weather.
which means he'll be free to attack us again.
Are you pleased with yourselves? Look at what you've brought down on us! If someone's death were to help you find Ciri, would you start making human sacrifices as well?
Relax. Storm's died down. You've clearly got things under control.
For now. But who knows what will be a week or two on?
Stop panicking! Here's your mask.
It is worthless. It's an unwieldy ashtray at best. I hope you've learned something useful at least.
Very.
I'm talking to Geralt. You I'll deal with later. So?
We think a powerful curse was cast here.
Plausible. Considering what happened to the wood, do you know upon whom?
Not yet, but we know Ciri was here. She stepped out of a portal. A mage was with her. Someone chased them. They fought. Ciri was wounded but managed to escape.
Where to?
Velen, probably. The mage opened a portal for her, then he fought her attacker.
Yes? Is that it?
Got a feeling we found something interesting. Just need to examine one more thing.
Went flying in that direction.
Something's pinned under that tree. Can you...
I can.
Armor's clean. No blood, no sword nicks. Ciri's friend must have... what do you call it?
Vaporized him.
Exquisite. The armor, though the workmanship's unfamiliar. Can't even tell where it's from.
Probably because it belonged to a rider of the Wild Hunt.
What? So it's true? The Wild Hunt? I feared as much. First here, Then on Hindersfjall, what did they want?
They're looking for Ciri.
But why?
Elder blood flows in Ciri's veins.
'Tis true, she can trace her lineage clear back to Lara Duran, which is why the women in her family have always had extraordinary abilities. But could that truly be so important?
Ciri's exceptional. She travels between places here and other worlds. Space is no obstacle for her.
Huh?
Which is why the Wild Hunt wants to capture her. Speaking of the hunt, mentioned it
Well, it happened at least the raids raided Lofoten. Itself a strange occurred. The islanders said the wraiths. They barged into their huts, killed...
Anyone survive?
A dozen or so.
Next stop,
I'll meet you on the beach.
Wait, can't we go together? Right now?
But you detest being teleported.
Don't exactly like potions either, but I drink them when I have to.
You also drink them when there's no need at all. Very well. Let's go. Stay close to me.
Good luck to you. Inform me once you've learned anything new.
Quite a few years since I was last in Hindersfjall. But if I remember correctly, Lofoten should be this way. Raised huts and fresh graves. This must be it.
Gathering of some kind. We've come at a bad time.
There's no good time to talk about the Wild Hunt.
Sprouted whiskers.
And what if Craven told the truth?
And me?
What if he didn't abandon us?
And unharmed.
But was...
Ritual of some kind. We'll have to wait.
We'll do no such thing. Dear sisters, pardon the interruption, but we've an important matter to discuss.
Can you not see we're commemorating the dead? So?
And we're looking for someone who's still alive. Please, this is urgent.
Then speak.
They say the Wild Hunt destroyed this village.
That is true, though few believe us. You don't either, I'm sure. Did you see riders on skeleton horses, wearing frost-covered armor?
Aye, that's how it was. They landed on our shores in a ship made of the claws of dead men, like in the ballads. Leif yelled to grab the children. Then they came, cut him across his face, He tried to whisper. Only blood came out.
You were to ask about someone, not prod their wounds. That's enough.
What happened then?
Go on.
I ran out to get help, to get Leif. But so many bodies. Yolle, Ingvar, little Necky.
Which way did the riders go?
Towards the sea, through the ravine, on horses made of bones. Bones and ice and...
Enough! Get to the point. Now.
We're looking for a young woman, name of Ciri. Ashen hair, green eyes.
I'm sorry. She is not here.
Unless she lies in a grave. That is, I do not recall one by that name. But I've buried so many, I may have forgotten.
This Ciri, has she a scar here on her cheek?
Yes. Yes, what happened to her?
Don't know. Saw her but for a moment, right before it all. She was in the stables with Craven. 1,000 curses upon him.
Remember anything else? Anything at all?
Only that she seemed tired. Very tired. And her hair was wet.
Great. So we know she bathed. Progress.
I'm sorry,
Craven!
My apologies. Craven. Craven could have told you more.
This Craven you mentioned, does he have a name?
He did. Until the elders struck him from the saga of ancestors.
It's as if he has ceased to exist. The lore forbids anyone from touching him, speaking to him, even uttering his name.
What did he do to deserve that?
He fled from the wild hunt. He alone.
We need to talk to him, even if it's not in keeping with your customs.
You've come too late. He went to the garden to fight Morkvag.
Where is this holy garden?
Not far from here. North.
And now?
Now we walk only as
those who venture below.
Morkv.
Who, you mean?
The vilest man ever to inhabit.
Know the type.
They said he feared only one.
Archpriestess Ulva stood in his way. He thrust a blade between...
Curse? Monster?
I can get rid of Morkv.
It's not that simple.
So, it's a...
I understand.
Speak with Torridar's son. He settled in Larvik.
A cow.
That's...
And the trial. I do not...
Thanks.
I understand. I dislike it when...
Custom demands pilgrims make an...
You needn't worry about us.
Modern Freyr is patient, but she brooks no insult.
Worried this trail might have gone cold.
Even if Craven's dead, we'll manage.
How exactly?
You'll see when the time comes.
You could stand to be nicer sometimes.
I suppose. But then I wouldn't be the woman you fell in love with, would I? My. That must be Morgan.
A bite. Just one morsel. One piece. A crumb. Food. Food. Shank. Not again. Not again.
He doesn't seem happy to see us.
Wait till he gets a closer look at me.
So, where shall we start?
Let's go to that tree the sisters mentioned.
Plan to bleed yourself for the goddess?
Not necessarily, but Craven did. We just might pick up his scent. Craven was here. Look, the impression. Kneeled down on one knee.
No. I may be...
Which is why you should no offense, but in that...
Ball and chain?
Planned to say it gentler, but...
Fine. We'll do it.
Fine.
Don't get hurt. Oh, come. I was just teasing. Fool. I need you. Period. Better?
Better. Craven's blood, flowing profusely. Trails clear. Should lead me to him. How long are you gonna make me wait? No bite marks. Morkvark doesn't eat his victims. Strange.
Is it Craven?
Monster tracks. Running. Chasing something. Craven's blood. Door won't budge. Craven must have blocked it, or it's just locked. Gotta go round. Doesn't give up easily. Another corpse. No bite marks here either. Lots of prints, old and new. His lair must be nearby. Can't cross that. Gotta go down, provided I can open the sluice. Mechanism looks pretty standard. One lever to choose the sluice gate, the other to work it. Floodgates open, but nothing's happening. Untouched. No sign of feeding. Morkvog doesn't devour his victims. Strange.
It grew back. It always grows back.
Starting to envy you.
Wished.
If I have to.
Warriors.
Mm-hmm. Biting off your own.
I shredded.
Your story.
You cannot kill me.
Damn it. Willing to talk now?
Only now can I. You've got...
Looking for a man named...
Then...
Mentioned a reward.
Looted.
So, no...
Nay.
Everlasting hunger goes to explain. See what I can do.
See.
See if we can do this the easy way. Morkvog
won't tell.
Won't know until you... Farewell.
See you soon.